Whoa, I've got to jump on. I've just got in. I've just got in. I've had a really, really busy day, but you are my friends, you guys. You're the ones I need to share with, and I just need to share this because I'm really, really. Am I shocked? Am I really shocked? No, I'm not really shocked. Am I saddened? If I go into my higher self, I'm not saddened, but I'm speaking very much from a third dimensional place today. I'm speaking from my third dimension, and I can and I will take this up into a higher frequency as I ponder on it. But I'm going to share this because this is what's going on for so many of us at the moment, especially those of us who are not buying the narrative. Because if you're buying the narrative, you're just very clear that you don't want people to die and that you've got to do as you're told and that this is a very dangerous virus and we've got to do everything that the government tell us to do. Here's the thing. Somebody just put on the Yoga UK community about the government guidelines, and I just made a comment and I said, hey, come on guys, you know, we're yoga teachers, you know, fear, love, you know, the numbers aren't what they're saying. I have been attacked beyond belief. There's like 90 comments, and what I'm seeing is what I believed, and that is there is a huge, and I've got nothing wrong with people who are from a corporate background, who want the logistics and want the left brain side of things. But what's happened is yoga teacher training was offered willy-nilly, £30 for a month's course online, study, you know, immediately, be a yoga teacher immediately. And what's happened, and I knew this was going to happen, because what's happened is the integrity of yoga, which means union of mind, body and spirit. It is a connection to source energy. Unfortunately, the craze for fitness yoga has become so huge that we get a situation like this where we're all experiencing living here on planet Earth during the Great Awakening, where we are being manipulated and lied to from the structures and the patriarch for so many hundreds of years. And so when I put something up that like, hey guys, you know, there are people, you know, it's not like as dangerous as they're making out. I have been attacked. And the incredible thing was that even the admins are messaging me privately saying that they're agreeing with me, but that they need to keep on not giving their views. Sorry, I keep getting messages all the time. They can't give their own personal views on the yoga community, but they agree with me, but people won't say it in public because people are frightened to speak up in public, and people are frightened to connect with what's true. And this is what is causing so much division. So many of you may be thinking one thing and doing another thing and saying another thing. And this is how we cause fragmentation in our spirit. I've even had somebody say, oh, it's all very well being a free spirit, but this disease is killing people and blah, 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 blah. And I'm an academic and and I'm a yoga teacher, but I'm not speaking from a yoga teacher perspective. I'm speaking from my academic perspective. And I'm like, hang on, this is all about the marrying of the masculine and the feminine, the left and the right. The academia and the yogi, you know, the heart-centered yogi. This is about it all coming together. So from a higher perspective, I can see what's playing out. And am I surprised? No. Am I surprised to see fragmentation in the yoga world? No. Am I surprised to see how many people are slating what I'm saying? Yes. I am. I'm actually quite surprised. And one of the admins has private messaged me. And she said that she's surprised as well, but she can't say what she thinks. So there is a sadness. But again, when we start to, and they're probably a lot younger than I am. They're probably just, you know, because there's a lot of them who are struggling with stress and depression and missing being with their clients. And I get all that, you know. My yoga teacher training, apart from doing it for 3 years, was actually my life. You know, the whole thing. I'd be stressed with the kids, I'd scream and shout, and then I'd go and teach my yoga class and I'd stand in front of 15 people and the first thing I would say was, and breathe, and I'd walk in and I'd teach my class and I would calm down. So I'm not saying that yoga teachers have to be a certain way, but I'm really surprised at how many people are following the government guidelines and are calling me an idiot. And of course I have no problem in people calling me an idiot, because if you're going to speak out, I suppose you've got to have done enough of your own inner work to believe in yourself and know who you are and trust in your own integrity. And I think those of us who don't buy into the mainstream narrative have read enough for us to have seen and to have literally kind of inherently see what's going on, and knowing that this is the Great Awakening, knowing that we have to literally meet all of this that's ready to cause division, so that we're all fighting amongst ourselves and we're all arguing, but actually this is the division that's within all of us. This is the division. And so now I've done this little rant and got over the shock of what's happening in the British yoga community, and got over the shock that probably my community, and I've always said this, I've said this years ago, that out of my friends who are shaman or massage therapists or, you know, doing other modalities, and when I've trained yoga teachers and when I've trained Pilates teachers, the ones who I would have chosen to work with me are not the ones who have done the training. They have not been the ones who have followed government regulations to get their level, this, that or the other, because that has always lost a huge degree of the integrity of the discipline which is required to come into full alignment. So yoga originally was actually handed down, and that's always been my yoga teacher, Ruth White, who I spent 3 years training with. We didn't have notebooks and rules and you had to do this, that and the other. No, it was completely given to us through experience. You know, life is an experience. Our teaching was all hands-on. You know, sometimes she might go away and say, you know, practice this or practice that, but the left brain has really dominated us so much, that freedom and expression and health. I mean, I have been slated for saying to the yoga community in the UK, well, not all of them, but about 60 or 70 of them that are on there at the moment, apart from a few likes, because people are frightened to speak up. I have been slated for saying that 99.9% of people are recovering from this deadly disease, and yet I am being called all sorts of things by the yoga community. So I'm just sending blessings and love and honouring other people's thoughts and ideas, but I really am not surprised in the slightest. And you know what? There was an advert come up quite a few times on my wall for a yoga teacher training reduced to £30. So yeah, look, I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just seeing this in front of my eyes. We're all going to be having experiences like this. We're all going to be seeing things. Everything is coming up for healing. The fragmentation is within ourselves, so we can only go back in and see the separation that's going on. And as we start to marry our own inner masculine and feminine and come more into the feminine and lean into the heart and the love. Hello, beautiful baby. But I just again, every day is like, whoa. So I don't know what the whoa is in your day today, but if you're not getting whoas, I imagine there's a possibility that you're probably fitting in. Because when you fit in and don't say anything, I just ask you right now, for those of you who are listening, what is it, if you weren't going to be judged, would you like to share with a wider community right now? What is it that's niggling you, that's irritating you, that's making you feel a bit stressed, something that you can't believe that's going on. And if you can't do it like this in a Facebook Live, would you do it in a small community like a heart circle? Because I'll tell you something, it's really good and healthy to name how you feel, to name your emotions without judging them, to be able to stand and be willing to be made a fool of, to stand and be willing to have people judge you, to be willing to meet all of that. And I go back in my own life when I was stressed and anxious and widowed and chronic fatigue and penniless and you name it, you know. And I remember I couldn't afford some Reiki healing. It was a new thing out. Reiki was new. I heard good things about it, but I couldn't afford it. And I went to the woman and I was asking her about it. And she said, look, she said, I can see you're desperate. She said, I'm going to offer you a free session. And one day when you've got through this, you can offer someone a free session, because I trained in Reiki at that time. And I was so grateful to that woman. And when I was having this Reiki, I always remember she brought the angels in and she brought courage. I remember her saying, I'm going to give you courage. And courage is priceless. Courage is priceless. To stand in your own truth. Doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong, because right or wrong exists on the third dimension. But just to stand in your passion, whether people believe with you or not, is irrelevant. To be able to have the courage to stand in your own fire, in your own passion, and speak the truth, whatever you believe that to be. And it doesn't mean that your truth is someone else's truth, but to have the courage to say how you really feel is priceless. So I have no problem speaking and sharing my truth. And I long for more of us to be able to do that in a safe space. That's why I run heart circles. Practice developing and nurturing your courage, because to have the courage to speak up when the majority are too frightened to say what they're really thinking. I understand the admin on this yoga group in the UK isn't going to give her own personal views on this platform, but to private message me and to say I am shocked at the yoga community as I was putting on the thing, it's like we have to ultimately, you know, maybe we can't be admin in a group. What do you think is the right thing to do? If you were admin on a group such as a yoga group and you disagree with the majority of the yoga teachers, and they're all saying, you know, you must comply, you must do as you're told, this is a dangerous illness, people are dying, and yet your views are different, what would you do? What would you do? And I know some of us are more out there than others, but we've all got to listen to our own integrity and our own truth and make a decision, a sensible decision. A sensible decision. Maybe I don't always do sensible. Look at that baby. That baby is still in his little... Oh, thanks for listening to me, guys. And I'm going to go away and I'm going to reflect on this. I'm going to go and meditate. I'm going to go and put iced pack on my baby's balls that are no longer of much use, and he can't even lick them because he's got his plastic thing around him. And thank you for listening to me, and I'd love to hear your views. Take care.